Hey guys, nice to see you. I'm Stephen Mack and I've been joined today by the fabulous
Jane Ahern.
Jane Ahern. So Jane Ahern's our top sports nutritionist. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
So Jane specialises in looking after people with sports nutrition, but we thought we'd bring you a video today. If you're looking to help improve your nutrition around sport, there's top 3 things that Jane would recommend. We thought we'd be able to give them to you for absolutely 0 pence at all. So just spend 5 minutes watching this video. Hope you'll learn something. If you need more advice, just leave your details in the box below and someone will get back to you and we'll put you in touch with Jane, who can hopefully offer you some more advice as well. But Jane, what would be your top 3 tips for those people at home looking to improve their sports nutrition?
Okay, well my first tip would definitely be you need to fuel for the work required. So whether you're doing endurance sport or strength, you want to build muscle, you need to make sure that you have the right fuel for the body. The most easily accessed is carbohydrate. A lot of people kind of tend to steer towards protein to fuel, but that is only to purely build and repair muscles rather than fuel them. So make sure you have your protein and your carbohydrates, of course your healthy fats as well, which can also help with recovery. Which comes to my second point, making sure that your post-exercise nutrition is optimal to make sure that you recover well. Often you can't train as hard during your next session is because you haven't recovered properly. So making sure you get that post-exercise.
So when someone's training like that and they're working what you'd call a deficit, I imagine, so what kind of things might they experience if they're working in a nutritional deficit?
So if they're in nutritional deficit, they will suffer fatigue, they might have problems with cognitive function, not be able to perform it properly, and that can be quite dangerous, particularly if it's like a high impact sport or something that you really need to concentrate on. You need the fuel there, not just to power the body, but fuel the brain and making sure that you can concentrate and really focus during that exercise. You don't want to be making mistakes.
Brilliant, fantastic. So if you find your performance isn't as good as it should be, or it was on the session before, you might find you're in a nutritional deficit. So there's some easy things that you can do to help improve that. So Jane, what kind of things can people do at home to help improve that deficit if they're experiencing that?
Definitely plan and prepare is the first one. So know when you're training, know your timing, and know when you're going to be eating beforehand. You do need to leave a certain gap between eating and training because you're going to have indigestion, you're not going to be comfortable. But you need to make sure you've got good sources of carbohydrate, protein, essential fatty acids as well. But if you're finding the gap is too long, that also can cause problems. So either a snack, maybe an hour or an hour and a half, 2 hours beforehand, and then something like a sports drink.
Like Lucozade?
Something Lucozade, perfect. It's got...
what about all the sugar that's in Lucozade? Do you
the thing is, if you are, it depends on the athlete. If you're an endurance runner, you're running a marathon, something like Lucozade is going to be utilised as exogenous carbohydrates. So it's probably going to be fine. The only one thing you would need to take care of is your teeth. So tooth decay is there. But if you are utilising those sugars, chances are that you might not be, they won't be detrimental in any way.
So there are different types of exercise that people might do in their carbohydrate loading strategies, but what type of exercise wouldn't be so good to have lots of Lucozade with?
So I wouldn't really tell people to drink Lucozade if they were going into, say, a yoga class. Chances are you won't be utilising that much carbohydrate to energize yourself. It's more strength, stretching, things like that. So maybe more high protein meals around that exercise. However, if you were doing a lot of bodybuilding or something like wrestling or rugby even, you would need plenty of protein so that you can build the strength, repair the muscle, but something like Lucozade could be used in those events as well, because you want to make sure your body doesn't start to break down the muscles and use the protein as energy to fuel. You want the carbohydrate there to back up and just keep that wonderful protein there to build strength.
So I guess in terms of the way that you drink it, that's probably quite important as well, because you don't want to be gulping it all down, I imagine, because then you get this massive sugar spike, feel like
also
Clark Kent, Superman.
Yeah, I mean, you get the sugar spike, you also get, you will have a bad tummy. If you just down a load of sugary drink and you just tear off, you're going to be thinking, oh gosh. Another thing that can also lead to sports drink have their place, but sometimes in runners, for example, endurance runners, they can drink too much and then suddenly they get a dreadful feeling and it could be game over. So
interesting. So make sure you sip the carbohydrate that you're drinking as part of that strategy. So
take it gradually. Another thing, like time your drink intake, particularly for endurance sports. It's all about tolerance. Everyone's individual, everyone's different. There are certain guidelines out there that will say you need to drink X amount if you weigh X amount and you're going for this length of time. But really it's all down to you. So if you find that you really can't tolerate high quantities of carbohydrates or sugar in your drink because they might cause tummy upsets or maybe just maybe make you feel a bit funny, then you need to kind of work on strategies to sort of how much is this much okay, is that much okay, and do what works for you.
Yeah, no, it's really interesting. Thanks a lot, Jane. So Jane, that's 2 tips. What was your big third tip?
My big third tip is look after yourself. I did mention recovery, and recovery in terms of nutrition is very important, but also taking time to rest.
Yeah.
And in general, overall, if you are wanting to perform well in sport, your diet or nutrition needs to be optimal, definitely 80 to 90% of the time. Just thinking about the fuel and how you're going to perform the exercise is one thing, but you need to be leading a fairly healthy, balanced nutritional lifestyle in general in order to perform at your best.
Brilliant. So not down the pub, not smoking,
not
anyway. Sleeping. Apparently I don't sleep enough, but sleep's really important, right?
Sleep is hugely important. Again, it's all part of recovery.
Yep.
Your body needs and your muscles need time to kind of regenerate and look after themselves, and to make sure that your inflammatory responses are working really well. So that's really important, yes. Sleep, be healthy, and don't go down the pub too often.
And sip your Lucozade.
Sip it, yeah.
Sip it. Great. It's been great talking to you. If you do need any help or advice with regards to how to get started with sports nutrition, or you're looking for some very basic tips that you can implement at home right away to make your nutritional strategies really good, optimize your recovery and perform better, perform longer and go harder, then you come to the right place. Just leave your details in the box below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Me, one of the team, will get you in touch with Jane and she'll be able to help you out. But for now, it's bye-bye from me.
Bye-bye from me.
Take care, guys. See you later.